Hello everyone! I recently watched a video about how older authors are having their words changed after their death because people don't like the message. As a person who wishes to publish my own works, I think I'm going to have to go the self-publishing route because if it were up to me, say I'd been dead long enough that I helped a tree grow, I would animate the tree proper Pocahontas style and go to the publishing house and say, put my words back please. If you don't like them, don't read it. I always think it's best to get to the root of the problem quickly. My book will be set in the year 2000 when we used to use different words and language. There will be subject matter that I speak of that might be considered offensive, but as I said earlier, there's a magic thing that can happen. If you don't like what you're reading, you have the full free will to put down your book and not read anymore. You even have the choice to leave a review that tells other people you don't like it. I think I'm going to have to leave a clause in mind somewhere in the book that basically says that it must not be changed. If I have any pictures in the book, they must not be changed. Because look at what happened with Roald Dahl and his original description of Augustus Gloop and how they changed it to be more friendly. The same happened to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory overall, and again, they changed it to be more friendly so that people didn't get offended because of the word fat. I don't think any other description of Augustus Gloop would have been fitting. I can't speak for anyone else, but I like a full description, mainly because I can't picture people. Roald Dahl was told that his wording and the way he described the Oompa Loompas was very offensive in the original draft. They weren't called Oompa Loompas at first. I will leave a link in the description so you can see what was said and why he made the change. But the difference was that he understood that what he said was culturally offensive. So he, instead of saying that they came from Africa, said they came from Loompa and were orange. But that was his choice. He was told by his editor what might be inferred and he chose to change it. If you don't like the language in my book, don't change it. I will write that down if necessary. Other authors, Agatha Christie and Richmal Crompton, are being edited, either the front cover or the wording, just because they're offensive. As I said before, if I self-publish and it still gets changed, I'm turning into Mother Willow and I'm coming for you. If I decide to change the wording, that's my choice. But if I leave it in a state that you don't like, state your opinion and leave my work alone. That includes the front cover. This is going to be a deep book. This will contain some dark subjects. If you don't like it, save your money. My vision for my book and the message I wish to convey won't be the same if you change it. And so if no one wishes to publish it, I'll do it myself. I also noticed that authors being censored seem to be British. It could just be a coincidence. But what is with America changing the wording? We use different words, which can be kind of more offensive than the Americans in some things, but that doesn't mean you should change them. If someone wants to read my diary and doesn't like what is said about them, they are not allowed to get a pencil and a rubber and a pen and cross it out and rewrite it because that's my diary with my thoughts. Well, here's a funny thought. If you really want to change it, publish both and see which one works better, but don't change the original and stop selling the original. Keep them both. One for the people who don't like the original wording and one for the people who do. But don't get rid of the original and make it harder to find those and stop those being in print, because you're killing the author's original message, and that is wrong. If that German guy with the broomstick moustache has not had his work changed, then I do not expect anyone to be changing mine. I know that mine are not going to be as offensive as his. I am pouring my heart and soul into this book. This is my first novel and I want people to enjoy it. It's going to go through so many stages before I put it out to the audience. If some things are just too much, I may consider changing them. But if by the time I publish it, it is okay to publish, don't change it in the future. Let me know what you think. Do you believe sensitivity readers should have a say in how things are? As I said, if the German moustache man hasn't had his works edited, why should I? If you're still here, then you're handsome, and you're beautiful, and you, well, I'm speechless. I'll let you know next time I see you. Over to the pets. Hello all, this is Sylvie. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more.
Hey everyone, my name's Bonjo. If you enjoyed yourself, then give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends. Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and if you had fun, then comment down below and let my mum know who your favourite old author is.